For a 45-degree hip extension, the first thing that I would do is get into the equipment and see where it lands on your legs. Ideally, we want this thigh pad to be just below the hip crease, okay? So let's go ahead and get in, and yours might look a little bit different than mine. That's totally fine, but we're going to go ahead and basically just stand up in this position. Are these hip pads, or thigh pads rather, are they stopping right before the hip crease? If they are above the hip crease, we need to change the height of the machine, whether it is moving this pad down or this pad up or down, one or the other. But we need to adjust the machine so that when we're standing here, the hip crease is able to just kind of bend over and our hips are able to turn over the pad just like this. All right, once you've got that set up, the main thing that I want you to think of is kind of like a hip thrust. Let's do a thought experiment real quick of when we're doing a bench press, for example, we are pushing the weight away from us, right? And what happens when we change to a push-up? Well, we're doing the same motion, right? But instead of pushing a weight away, we're pushing ourselves away. It's still working the chest though. This is the same way I want you to think about a 45-degree hip extension. Instead of trying to maybe just think of it as a hip thrust where we are trying to drive into this hip pad as hard as possible, but instead of moving a weight away or a barbell or a dumbbell away like we would with a hip thrust, we're trying to move ourselves away. We're trying to get ourselves back up straight. So we're gonna go ahead and get into position. We're gonna let our hips rotate over just like this. And once we are pretty much out of the range of motion, our hips are fully rotated over this pad, we're going to drive our hips as hard as possible into this pad, okay? And just like that. Now my glutes are fully contracted right here. There is no reason for me to continue to go up. If I did continue to go up, this is really more spinal erector work, which isn't a bad thing. It's just that it's not the goal, in this specific exercise, the way I'm doing it, I'm trying to get glutes and hamstrings out of this, not so much lower back. If you ever did want to do lower back, that's totally fine. I would focus kind of on this motion, just like this. But again, we're focused on glutes and hamstrings. So again, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna drive in just like that. Do a few reps. And one more, and then we'll show you how to weight it. All right, there we go. Now, if you wanted to weight it, you could use dumbbells or plates. And first, I'll show you how it works with dumbbells. So I would start with your dumbbells on the ground, right in front of the machine, and then go on down, grab them, and then just like this. Holding them straight below you is totally fine. If some people tell you to hold real close to you, that's okay too. It might make it a little bit easier, so I just prefer holding it kind of just straight down. All right, with a plate, I would set it down just like that, the base. Go ahead and get into position. Come on down, grab it, and there we go. And I just like holding it right down here. Again, for the same reason, if I held it closer, it might be a little bit easier. Not a huge deal, but I prefer just holding it straight down just like this. And again, remember, we're driving our hips into the thigh pad. Now, some people might tell you to round your back or do different things like that. It's not the worst cue in the world. What they're trying to do is to prevent the over extension of the back like this, which will recruit more spinal erectors. So it's not a bad cue. It's just that it's not super necessary. As long as you are focused on driving your hips in, you are totally fine. That's all you need to worry about when you're trying to prioritize the glutes and hamstrings.